I love working with a limited palette. So I want to show you my favorite limited palette for getting spring colors. One of my favorite ways to set up a limited palette is with the color wheel, which is one of my favorite ways to think about color. And so a lot of times setting up a limited palette with 3 colors that are triads on the color wheel gives a beautifully harmonious palette to work with. For the spring colors, I like the tertiary palette of yellow orange, blue green, and red violet. And the colors, the tube colors I like using for those are the Utrecht quinacridone violet for the red violet, the Rembrandt cadmium yellow deep for the yellow orange, and the Rembrandt veridian for the blue green. Now I want to say something about this veridian. A lot of the veridians that come in tubes are really yucky. They're kind of pasty, middle green, muddy looking colors, but the Rembrandt veridian is a nice, dark, transparent color, very much like a phthalo green, but not with that strength that the phthalo green has. So there's the first thing. Now, I'm just going to mix a few little colors for you and show you something of the potential here for working with this palette. So to start with, we have this brilliant, beautiful cadmium yellow deep to begin with, and then just by mixing a little bit of the cadmium yellow deep into the red violet, quinacridone violet, look at these little variations of shadow oranges or shallow yellow oranges we can get. Just a tad, and a little deeper, of course, with a touch of veridian in there, we get an even deeper possibility for shadow colors of anything that ends up being yellow-orange. Now, if we, with that yellow-orange, if we add white to it, let me just show you. Take a little bit of white and a little bit of yellow-orange right here. Just get a little bit. It begins to get more yellow. And I can show you right here. You see, it begins to take more yellow, become more yellow and less orange. And so we have potential there for from the lightest light onto the shadow color of anything in nature that happens to be in the orange and yellow-orange range. Now, for the in the spring, for the spring greens, let me show you this one. We can begin again with yellow-orange right here. I'll pull a good bit of yellow-orange down. Now, going into just a little bit of this blue-green into the Rembrandt veridian, just a little bit into the blue-green, just adding the touches of blue-green, we get this wonderful kind of almost orangey gold, green gold. We see that a lot in the springtime. And then adding, well, let's add. First of all, let's move towards adding just a little bit more of the yellow orange to it, and look at the variations. See, of that gold that we can get. We can add a little bit more of the veridian to it, to the yellow orange, and then of course it begins to get a little bit more green. You see, like this, and then adding even more of the veridian to the yellow orange, and we get it even more green. So this gives us potential here. There we go. There is a really nice, what I think of as spring green, just right in here, just with yellow, orange, and veridian. And then if we add white to that, we get other variations. So here's with white added to it. The degree of white we add, of course, determines what happens there. But look at the variations we get here. Look at the wonderful variations of that spring green color we get there. And then one other little variation I want to show you, one other little possibility I want to show you with these colors is that is for the cool colors. The veridian by itself is pretty yucky, but when added to the other colors, it can do wonderful and almost miraculous things. Now, for example, you take veridian, I'll pull it right over here and get it worked into the brush, and just touch veridian with a little bit of the quinacridone violet. And what do we have when we do that? But this deep, can you see it? Deep blue, deep greenish blue, almost a gray blue, and add a little bit more of the quinacridone violet to it. And let's see where that can go. That can go, we can't really see it, but I'm going to show you in just a moment. That begins to go then towards a deep purple. And then if we add, let's get a little bit more of the quinacridone violet, give it over here to get kind of a little gradation, a demonstration there of possibilities. Now what I want to do is to add a little bit of white into that to show you what that's actually yielded for us. So a little bit of white added into the mixture here, where you had more veridian and less of the quinacridone violet, and you see that gives us this lovely, lovely grayish blue. And that's a nice little sky. That's a nice sky color. And then wipe that out and get a little bit more white here to show you this one. You have that this one, and it had a little bit more of the red violet in it. You see that gets it even grayer. Nice cloud colors there, and or other things, tree trunks, you know, all kinds of things. Anything that falls into that real neutral color. And then one more. And that is to show you what we have here in this mixture, with just more of the quinacridone violet and less of the veridian. And we have almost a color of these spring violets that we see when we have that mixture. So you see with these three colors, and I've just scratched the surface to show you possibilities. With these three combination of colors, you have a wonderful, wonderful limited palette for a wide range of color mixing possibilities for doing these wonderful spring colors. And there's your quick tip.